Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Stephen here from Redolessence. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. And in today's episode, we're going to be going ahead and taking a closer look at a fragrance by the company Christian Dior. And this one is called Joy. So make sure to stay tuned. So this fragrance was released in 2018. So just for clarification, this is the 2018 version. I know the Joy Intense version came out this year in 2019. So I'm actually reviewing the original in this video. Hopefully down the line, I'll have an opportunity to purchase the new one. And when I do, you best believe that I will be reviewing it on the Redolessence channel. So this fragrance released in 2018 was composed by Francois Demachy. Francois Demachy is the in-house perfumer for Christian Dior. I think in the past we've seen fragrances like Dior Fahrenheit, Hypnotic Poison, Dior It's been a variety of different perfumers, Annick Minardo, Olivier Polge, so on and so forth. But now Francois Demachy is the in-house perfumer, and he has made most of the recent fragrances for the company Dior, and also all of the fragrances for the Maison Dior line, and a lot of them that were originally composed like by other perfumers like Bois d'Argent, which is composed by Nick Minardo. He's actually reformulated so that his name is on everything, and I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing, but he is the in-house perfumer for Christian Dior. So this fragrance, I remember a lot of people were initially disturbed because there's another very popular fragrance by Jean Patou called Joy, and so a lot of people perceived it to be a very disrespectful move to name a fragrance after a classic, long-standing, established fragrance. But this fragrance is a take on musky jasmine. It also has notes of patchouli, a little bit of vanilla, if I'm not mistaken. I know benzoin is definitely listed as a note. There's also a little bit of peach in here as well. And so I'm really excited to be telling you what I think in terms of the smell. Let's start things off by taking a quick and close look at the presentation. So the box for this fragrance just has the name of the company and the name of the fragrance here in the front with the concentration, which is eau de parfum. On the bottom of the box, you can actually see the serial number punched into the box below the UPC at the very top. And also this is 90 milliliter in size. The back of the box just has the made in information and the e-commerce information printed on the very bottom. And the symmetrical Christian Dior logo may be located on the top of the box. The bottle for this one is also very nice. It just has Dior Joy on the front here. It's actually embossed on there with like a silver foil touch on it. And the juice inside the bottle is a light pink color, which definitely conveys femininity. You also have the Christian Dior logo embossed on the cap, and the cap also has a really nice design to it. So if you look on the inside of the cap, you will actually see that it has a star in there. Dior Sauvage has a fly in there. The cap for this fragrance is magnetic. Feel free to pick it up from the cap. And the distribution on the atomizer is nice and wide. Let's continue with the smell. So as soon as this fragrance opens up, you are going to get a lot of jasmine. And so if you're not a fan of jasmine, this is certainly a fragrance that you want to stay away from. Now there's something about jasmine where it comes across in a duality of smells. And so you'll have a very clean smelling jasmine. I can't really think of any fragrances off the top of my head that I would throw into this category, but I know the more raunchy animalic variety of jasmine is like an Alien for Women by Mugler. There's also a fragrance by Xerjoff called Alcat that has a very indolic jasmine. And basically what I mean by that is that jasmine in itself, the floral ingredient, contains a few different compounds that make it smell the way that it smells. And so in recreating the essence of jasmine, a perfumer will often use a combination of different synthetic molecules to bring together an accord, which is a collection of notes. And so you'll have jasminol, which smells the most like jasmine. You'll have indol, which kind of gives it a little animalic, rough and tumble sort of an edge. And then you also have an ingredient called cis-3-hexanol, which makes the fragrance smell a little bit grassy and kind of earthy as well. Now, I don't think any of that earthiness is compromised in here on account of the note of patchouli. And I like that it's not an overly earthy, dirty, and rugged patchouli. Just something about this fragrance smells really, really clean to me. And I like the cleanliness and the purity, if I may, say that, of the jasmine. So you do have the jasmine. You also have a little bit of peach in here as well. And I think that the peach is often overshadowed. I remember looking online some time back on a popular fragrance forum, and a lot of people were actually rating the presence of the peach to be quite low. I actually get more peach in this than many other fruity floral fragrances that are already on the market. But I truly think that it's a combination of the jasmine and the musk that give off that clean smell. And so my experience with musk, same thing that I said about jasmine, I would also apply to musk. There are some really clean varieties of musk. Think of White Musk by The Body Shop, both the men's version and the women's version. And then you can have other versions of musk that smell more true to the musk deer, which is where the ingredient of musk comes from. Of course, for vegan reasons, there is no real musk used in perfumery nowadays. It's actually banned by the IFRA. So if you do get a fragrance that contains real musk, and some of them definitely do, just know there probably isn't any International Fragrance Association certification attached to that fragrance, but I digress. So this one, it comes across smelling very clean. You have a little bit of the peach, but it's not overly done. And so it kind of allows this fragrance to have its own unique character and personality. The jasmine stays clean throughout the entire composition. There's a bit of warmth in the base, but I think it's on account of the note of benzoin, which kind of has a vanillic smell with like a medicinal overtone. If you've ever smelled Styrax benzoin or just benzoin in general in its resin form, you'll see it's a very potent ingredient. I don't think it's overly done in this scent. Overall, what you'll get is a very nice, pleasant, clean, youthful smelling jasmine note that I think is going to cater to a lot of people's tastes, and it's very easy to wear, very easy to pull off. Of course, we've seen a rendition of that in Joy Intense, which is the fragrance that came out this year, and so I hope to be reviewing that one soon. And yes, a lot of the notes are amplified, magnified, intensified, just to sort of give it the impression of it being an intense scent, all the while still smelling a little bit like the original and not being a full deviation. And so I really like the direction they went with that particular fragrance. And I think we've seen the same thing happen with Dior Sauvage Eau de Parfum. And so we started with the Toilette, then the Eau de Parfum. Now we have the Parfum version. And so it's a mild differentiation of the notes, but in this case, it's the lightest, wispiest, very fun, youthful, not very flirty though. I think had it been for like a stronger concentration of the peach, it would have been a little flirty, a little bit more flirty, I would say. But all in all, I think it's a very pleasant, very safe, easy to wear, fun, easygoing, sort of lighthearted composition by Francois Demachy. Let's finish things off with my overall assessment. Now, first off, I took a look at the uniqueness and the overall smell, and I don't think it's the most unique fragrance on the market. I do think that the fruity floral genre is one that is overdone, especially when you think of a fruity floral fragrance. It's typically what comes to mind when you think of a woman's fragrance. And so I just think they wanted to create something timeless, something contemporary, something elegant as well, and something that's incredibly versatile. And I do find that to be the case with this one. I think given Dior's track record, if you take a look at fragrances like Poison or even Hypnotic Poison by Nick Minardo, which has the inclusion of the almond, that really creamy, balmy almond. You also take a look at something like Eau Noir, which is now discontinued. Still available at the Paris boutique, if I'm not mistaken, but it is discontinued on a large scale. Francis Kurkdjian composition, the Immortelle, the coffee, the resins, the green lavender is just, I mean, very bold and daring. And here we see something that caters more to the Eastern Asian market. And so it's a little bit lighter, a little bit more wispy, but it still has this fun, youthful, contemporary, slightly flirtatious vibe going on in there. And I do think that the overall smell is very pleasant. In terms of the longevity on this one, I got about 6 hours, 6 to 7 hours longevity. Projection was great for the first hour. It didn't become a skin scent until about the 4.5 to 5 hour mark. So the longevity for this one is pretty good given the concentration. I do feel as though it falls into average territory. In terms of the versatility on this one, I can see it being very versatile. Perhaps I just wouldn't wear this fragrance in the dead of winter unless you're wearing it in a climate controlled environment. And I do think that there's quite a strong presence on the jasmine. And so if you're a guy who is looking to wear this fragrance for yourself, just keep in mind you have to be a fan of fruity floral fragrances to fully appreciate this one. And then also, I do think that this is a really unique presentation. And so I kind of like the name of Joy inside the O. I also like the magnetic cap. I like the design on the cap as well. And the color of the juice inside the bottle, of course, it kind of conveys femininity. The only thing is that Joy is a name that was given to a very popular fragrance by Jean Patou some time back. And so that is one qualm that I guess you can say people had with this release. So my final verdict on this one is, if you're a fan for a very clean, light, youthful interpretation of the note of jasmine with just a touch of peach, a little bit of rose, a little bit of patchouli, a little bit of benzoin, but none of them ever fully overshadowing the jasmine and the musk, I have a feeling you might really enjoy this one. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in. That was my review of the 2018 release Joy by Christian Dior. If you own or have tried this fragrance, I would love to know what you think. Please go ahead and leave a comment down below. I will respond to your comment. Also, if you are new to this channel and you took something of value from this video, I would really appreciate it if you could support this channel. It's easy and it's free. All you need to do is click that red subscribe button down below. And this way, whenever I do upload videos of this nature, they will get delivered straight to your feed. You never need to worry about missing any of my future content. And of course, that includes fragrance reviews, top 10s, giveaways, unboxings, special guests, important announcement videos, so on and so forth. Thanks again for watching. I love you all. We'll see you next time. Bye.